Hey there, welcome to another video on chess. This is Bharat Divyang from Zugzwang Academy. Now, if you've been looking at the videos that we've been posting, there are a couple of themes that are very prominent. One is we look at positions which are typically unwinnable, positions that are really tough to come out of, and then you have some sort of a magic move or some plan that really defies the odds to turn things around. So that's one theme that has worked. The other one is the idea of sacrifice, and not just sacrifice for a checkmate, but also sacrifice for positional sacrifices. The third one, of course, has always been to analyze very famous games. So here we're going to be doing all three of them together. So this is a game that happened, I think, in 1956 between Averbakh and Spassky. Boris Spassky was a world champion. I think he was a 10th world champion. And this was a game that he played when he was fairly young. And it's a very famous game for an interesting positional sacrifice. Okay, so this is the position. There's about 16 moves into the game. If you want the game, I'm going to share the link to the chess games link. You can go and watch the entire game, but I want to focus specifically on this position. And if you look at this position, you'd see that, white is way better, right? So knights are out, bishop is in a decent place, the kingside attack looks really looming, and black's position is not good at all. Both the knights are kind of inside, the bishop seems to be on a closed diagonal, and the queen and rooks are still somewhere inside. So there's not much breathing space, seems a little suffocating for black. So how do you come out of this? Now, traditionally, you would do a lot of stuff, which is try to bring your knight maybe to d7 and then go here and maybe try to attack, right? But what Spassky did in this particular game was amazing. This was the sacrifice that he played, which was knight to c6, allowing for the knight to be captured. Now, this is something where there is no straightforward attack or plan of attack here. It's more about just releasing the pressure of a bad position. But there are certain ideas here. For example, one of the ideas could be the rook coming here trying to attack. Another idea could be to get the queen out maybe here, or eventually maybe come and support this particular square. So things are yet to be seen. So now, as you can see, the idea is, white immediately double downs on the g6 pawn. So the queen has to come here, as I said. Pawn takes, queen comes out, rook comes to b file, knight goes back to support. Now, thanks to the queen supporting the square, knight comes here and positionally can move here. And that's exactly what happens. Now, all of a sudden, this knight is what we call as the octopus. Right? It has amazing control, and not just the four front, but also the four back squares. But you've just turned a knight which was, just a few seconds back somewhere in the sleepy backwaters into the four of attack, right? Because you're threatening this particular check, you're threatening multiple other attacks that can come in from here. And at the same time, you have kind of defended things pretty well. All that kingside attack that white was trying to do has all come into a place where black is able to decently defend it. The game actually went on from here, and at some point of time, I felt like probably black could have actually turned the game. But nevertheless, the game ended in a draw, and white was probably lucky to just get a draw at the end of it. But the key point being this, right? The choice of being able to sacrifice pieces to gain something, right? So there's always going to be these uneven exchanges, imbalances that's created in chess. So if you want to be a good chess player, you have to start studying these imbalances. Here, the imbalance is, you lose material to kind of gain position. But unlike a gambit, this is actually trying to claw your way back into the game from actually a losing position. But nevertheless, the impact is very similar. You lose your knight, you deliberately lose your knight here with the choice of getting into a better position. Now, if white doesn't take, then you still end up having a pretty decent position with a decent amount of attack with the knight. Or you could actually take the knight here, ask for an exchange, and get the pawns kind of in the center. Okay, so what are the lessons for us? The lesson is that chess is not a very simple game. Sometimes there's complicated calculations to be done, but one thing for sure is that you always want to improve your position, and sometimes you got to be ready to make sacrifices, and those sacrifices need not be just definite certain sacrifices that leads to checkmate, but those sacrifices could also be to kind of make your position better or gain a better position. Okay, this is an example of the former, where black is actually in a bad position and Spassky had the guts to actually sacrifice his knight on c6 and turn the game around to win a draw from what felt like pretty much a lost position. I hope you found this game interesting, the position interesting, and the analysis insightful. If so, please do like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.